in the last decade?
Yeah, ever. This is one of the biggest fights ever. And obviously I'm honored to be promoting. But yes, when they say we're promoting it, I'm doing the promotion, we're doing the production, the event ops, PR, I mean everything to do with the fight, just like a UFC fight, while at the same time promoting UFC Noche. So it'll all be the same weekend. It's a badass weekend of fights.
Dana White declared UFC is taking over boxing by running Canelo versus Crawford like a full-scale MMA event, shaking the foundation of traditional fight promotions.
People talk shit and say whatever they want to say, but look at Canelo. Canelo is still the man.
Yes,
you know,
he's been for a long, long time.
And he jumps in there and he does it and he goes to work, and it's hard to stay at that level for a very long time. And Canelo's another guy. I mean, what's this guy clipping 40 mil a fight?
In an unexpected twist that has shaken up the boxing and MMA worlds alike, the UFC president confirmed that the upcoming mega fight between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terence Bud Crawford will be promoted and produced entirely by the UFC under the TKO umbrella. Speaking to ESPN Deportes, White revealed that the massive event will take place on September 12th, 2025 in Las Vegas, with another UFC event, Noche UFC, happening the following night in Guadalajara, Mexico. According to White, this isn't just a fight weekend, it's a combat sports extravaganza.
Dana White to promote Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Turkey Al-Sheikh announced that he and Dana White will both promote the highly anticipated boxing match between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. We will deliver the fight of the century or Riyadh season on September 12th at Las Vegas' Allegiant Stadium. The legend Canelo defends his ring magazine title versus the great Terence Crawford. TV platform will be announced soon, with big surprise. My brother Dana White will promote the first TKO boxing event with me. It will be something crazy.
This will also mark Dana White's first full leap into boxing promotion, representing a new direction not just for the UFC, but for the entire combat sports industry. As he puts it, it's not about just putting on a fight, it's about reshaping the experience for fans and proving that MMA and boxing can be unified under a single promotional vision. At the center of this groundbreaking event is the much anticipated bout between two of boxing's biggest names. Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed super middleweight champion, will go head-to-head with Terence Crawford, a 4-division title holder who recently claimed the WBA super welterweight belt. Their clash is expected to be one of the most significant showdowns the sport has seen in years.
Terence Crawford has had one fight above 147 pounds, and everyone, including Terence Crawford, will tell you that was not his finest performance against Israel Madrimov. He is older than Canelo, he is coming up in weight, he is coming off a long layoff. I can't look at Canelo Williams' school and say, you know what, Canelo is too far in a decline to beat Terence Crawford. Not until I've seen what Terence Crawford looks like at 168 pounds.
No, same here. And even though we could see Canelo Alvarez diminishing, we're still going to favor him because he's been in there with the bigger, stronger men. Crawford's not going to be able to hurt him. Crawford will be able to pepper him up, win rounds. Like I tell you, I have an image of Canelo Alvarez after the fight. He's going to be bloodied and bruised because he's going to get pot-shotted. He's going to throw 2-3 punches, pepper him up, and then get an angle. Then once Canelo starts realizing I'm falling behind here or I'm getting hit too much, I got to do something great, that's when Crawford's going to have to get on his bike.
Despite concerns from some quarters about the size difference between the two fighters, Canelo being the naturally bigger man, Crawford remains unfazed. In an interview, he dismissed the significance of size, pointing out that even heavyweights like Alexander Usyk have defeated larger opponents such as Tyson Fury. Crawford believes boxing is more about timing, strategy, and heart than physical dimensions. He emphasized that Canelo himself has often been the smaller fighter in his divisions, and that the narrative around size is being overblown by outside observers.
So every time I see him, he'll come and be like, Canelo.
Yeah, you know how Billy do it too, yeah.
So every time, I'll be like, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
So every time he say that, I just be like gradually getting into like looking at like, okay. And he's not that big. He heavy, but he not that big.
Right.
And I'm just like, all right. I'm laughing, but at the same time, it started hitting me like, all right, man, maybe you on to something. And then I started sizing him up, and I'm like, all right, well, Canelo 5'7", my arm's longer.
Yeah.
He's strong, I'm strong.
Right.
It'd be, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
Because Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter. So I just started looking into it, and I'm like, man.
The one thing about Crawford is he got guts. Them bums ain't have no guts. Them bums didn't want to win. Crawford want to win. That's it. It ain't about no belt. It ain't about nothing. You didn't sign the contract. We want to win, and he want to be the best, and he is the best. So that's what's going to be the difference. You know, Crawford got guts. He got a fighting spirit. So when you see Crawford, he going to go in there and get busy with Canelo. Don't you even doubt that. You understand? You ain't never seen Crawford stay on the back foot in no fight in his life. You understand? He the type of guy to go get you. So expect him to go get him. We going to do everything we can to him. We going to do whatever we got to do. But one thing you can expect is Crawford is going to step to him, because you can't beat Canelo going on the back foot forever. You got to go get him. You got to do something. And he better know Crawford is coming.
Dimitri Bivol, who handed Canelo one of his rare losses, shared insights after watching Canelo's recent bout with Skull. Bivol remarked that Crawford's high-paced, aggressive style is the polar opposite of Skull's passive approach. He believes Crawford will force Canelo into uncomfortable territory by not giving him moments to rest, something Bivol himself used effectively in his win against the Mexican star.
I think Crawford wants this fight a lot. He wants this fight, and I think he will be more active than Canelo's previous opponent, and he has different mentality. He has champion mentality. I think the fight will be much more interesting.
What do you make of the weight in that fight, the weight difference?
I think Crawford will not let Canelo just walking on the ring when he wants, you know, because we could see this fight. Canelo did everything. When he wanna rest, he could rest easy, you know, in this fight. Yeah, of course, when he wants to work, that guy didn't give him work. He just rest. And I think with Crawford, it will be harder to rest.
Who do you think wins?
I don't know. It's a very interesting fight, but I don't know.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia also weighed in on the upcoming fight. He expects Crawford to start strong, using his speed and footwork to control the early rounds. Garcia believes Canelo will need to rely on his signature body shots and tactical pressure to gradually wear Crawford down. He doesn't count Crawford out, but sees a scenario where Canelo's power could become more of a factor in the second half of the fight.
You know, use your skills, speed, try to fight on the outside, you know, and you know, he does have skills, man. He is a real talented fighter, so I think he's gonna put up really good rounds, maybe at least 5 or 6 rounds. He's gonna put up really good rounds. Eventually, I think later rounds, Canelo starts catching him, breaking him down. But I do see Crawford putting up. Crawford's, you know, he's the man. He's pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. He's very talented. I think he will put up a good fight.
You said Canelo maybe later in the rounds comes on, you know, and puts pressure on him. But Canelo more recently, the later rounds, you know, it's a little like slower, maybe gives up a couple of them because he's already kind of won. That'd be kind of a different strategy, right? Like, can he still do that?
It has to, but he has to, because I think the first half, I think it'll be Crawford's fight. You know, I might be wrong also, because Canelo's also very talented. Let's not take that away from him. He's very talented, but I do see Crawford maybe taking the first few rounds, the first half of the fight, and then Canelo forcing himself to pressure and try to dominate it that way, because knowing that he might be a little bit behind, he's gonna be forced to do it. And he's got the strength, he's got the power, he's got the skills to do that too.
Jaron Boots Ennis, who initially saw the fight as a balanced, competitive matchup, has since revised his stance. Now leaning in favor of Canelo, Ennis pointed out that Crawford is jumping up in weight without first testing himself in the new division. To him, that leap might prove too ambitious. He referenced Canelo's reputation for overwhelming bigger men despite not being a massive super middleweight himself. Ennis questioned whether Crawford, despite his technical brilliance, has ever faced an opponent with the same physical presence and destructive power as Alvarez.
But I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo, because like I said before, he been putting big guys out and down, and Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe, and he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So I don't know. You know, it's gonna be a great fight. You know, the fans want to see it. So, you know, so be it. I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight. You know, at like 60, or like at least at 60, just to get his body the feeling of somebody a little bit bigger, and things like that. I know when you go up a weight, you gotta, develop that power and not develop the power, but like put that muscle on and be heavier and things like that. So he might not want to take a fight because he's trying to build up right now, but I think he should, just to stay sharp and that way he don't have like a long layoff or anything like that.
Oscar De La Hoya, who once played a key role in guiding Canelo's career, focused heavily on the weight disparity. While he acknowledged that a win for Crawford would elevate him into legendary status, De La Hoya remained doubtful it could happen. He estimated that Canelo might enter the ring weighing close to 200 pounds, a level of physicality Crawford has never had to contend with. Although he respected Crawford's bravery, De La Hoya considered the fight a step too far, one that may stretch the limits of what even the most talented boxer can handle.
A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game, unless you go back to certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, this is the truth again.
Bernard Hopkins took a more cautious stance. While recognizing Crawford's skill set, he questioned whether it was wise for the Nebraska fighter to risk long-term consequences against someone with Alvarez's level of experience and punching power. From Hopkins' perspective, the danger wasn't just in losing the fight, it was in the potential toll the contest could take on Crawford's career longevity.
Crawford cares about his life. And with that fight, what do that fight do for Canelo fighting Crawford and Crawford beats Canelo? What do that do for Canelo? I just think that there are so many other fights to make that's realistic and makes sense and less life risking.
Errol Spence Jr., who has shared a ring with Crawford and felt his precision firsthand, viewed the decision to move up as bold and commendable. While not committing to a prediction, Spence made it clear that if anyone had the mental and physical tools to upset the odds, it would be Crawford. His view reflected cautious optimism, a nod to Crawford's pedigree, while recognizing the enormity of the challenge.
I mean, I don't know if he's gonna win or lose, but I definitely be going Crawford. I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off. He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, he started at 147. So I mean, if he's doing it, why can't Crawford do it?
From the new wave of contenders, Virgil Ortiz Jr. didn't hesitate to pick a winner. He gave Canelo the advantage due to the size discrepancy and Crawford's lack of experience at 168 pounds. Ortiz argued that even if Crawford adds muscle, that doesn't automatically translate to being able to compete effectively against fighters who are used to carrying that weight. He also pointed out Crawford's tendency to get hit in exchanges, something he warned could be a critical vulnerability against a finisher like Canelo, who needs just one clean shot to end the night.
Canelo being the bigger guy on the front foot, Terence being able to crack with both hands, but also to have that lateral movement. I think it's going to be an interesting style. I don't think it's going to be as decisive as you think, but you know Canelo a little better than I do, but I think it'll be really close.
Here's the thing. I mean, and I can debate on this. I don't know if we have enough time, but and I know I'm going to get some shit for saying this because of me, but Crawford gets hit. He does. Yeah. He gets hit like everybody else. Sometimes he gets hit pretty clean. If you get hit clean by Canelo, that's not good. It's really not good, whoever you are. And Canelo's fast. It's not like he's a slow puncher. He will catch you off guard. Yeah. And I mean, it's just different.
Alexander Usyk, no stranger to moving up in weight classes, originally leaned toward Crawford due to his technical versatility, but he has since reconsidered. Now he views the fight as too difficult to call. While praising Crawford's ability to manage distance and switch stances fluidly, Usyk ultimately found too many unknowns to make a confident prediction, calling it a genuine 50-50 battle.
A potential fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford. Yeah. How do you see that fight? Who do you like?
Terence, it's
wow.
My friend, but it's crazy man. Listen, I say Terence win. Yes.
What? Terence win over Canelo.
Yes, Terence win. But listen, Terence, it's different man. Terence work in two stойка.
Two sides.
Two sides.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
switch hitter.
Yes.
He's a switch hitter. Yes.
Right and left. But it's very smart man. It's very smart. But feel distance and place.
Adjustment.
Spacing,
Exactly.
boxing.
You don't think the weight difference will be a factor too much?
Mario, you're asking him?
That's why. That's why I'm asking, exactly.
But, Canelo big. Yeah, Canelo too. It's a good boxer. But I say
Wow.
Teddy Atlas provided a more philosophical take, defending Crawford's earlier win over Israel Madrimov as being tougher than people realized. He emphasized the long history of smaller fighters toppling bigger men through superior strategy and timing. In his eyes, Crawford possesses rare instincts and adaptability that could be key in leveling the playing field. While acknowledging the size disadvantage, Atlas remained intrigued by Crawford's potential to deliver a tactical masterclass that could shift the odds in his favor.
People are going to say Canelo's too big. He had trouble with a 154-pound guy when he went up from welterweight to that. So now he's going up to 168. Teddy, come on. How are you going to make an argument? You're going to make an argument to this, to the history of this sport, where little guys have been able to beat big guys, because you reverse it. You reverse who's got the advantage and the disadvantage. Yeah, the size, the power of Canelo, he's got the advantage. Then all of a sudden you go back and you say, wait a minute. The other guy's faster. The other guy's craftier. The other guy has more options. The other guy is slicker. Oh, maybe he's got the advantages. Like the first time Pacquiao fought De La Hoya. And I know De La Hoya was having trouble with weight and all that. I get it, and that's fair. But still, I remember I picked that one. Every once in a while I pick one right. I remember that I picked that one where Pacquiao's going to win. And I said, yeah, you're saying that De La Hoya's bigger, he's stronger. He's got the power edge, he's got this edge. But the other guy's quicker. And that's going to be an edge. And it was an edge. I'm one of the people that thinks Crawford is very, very special. I'm not saying Canelo's not, but I think he's special in a different way, where he's got instincts that not everyone has. Yeah. It's the timing, it's the instinctual things, the X factors, the intangibles that he has. And I think they're gonna show themselves. I really do. And I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait to see a smaller guy use those intangibles, use those X factors to beat a bigger guy.
Amir Khan, who has faced both men in the ring, spoke from first-hand experience. He underlined Crawford's intelligence and tactical approach, saying those traits often mask the power he carries. Khan remembered being surprised by how much force Crawford's punches packed despite their subtle delivery. To him, this wasn't just a contest of physical might, it was about the mind behind the gloves. Khan believed that Crawford's ability to read and break down opponents could give him an edge that physical size alone can't offset.
How much from sharing the ring with him and doing the camps with him, what benefits would Crawford had to be fighting against a bigger man? Is it the ring IQ, dominating the center? Like, what benefits do you think he has?
You need everything in the game. You need from your ring IQ, you need the movement, you need the power, you need the speed. And Crawford does hit hard. A lot of people don't give Crawford the credit for the punch power he has. But Crawford does hit hard. I've been in the ring with him. He's hit me hard. Obviously, the most powerful fighter in between the two is going to be Canelo. But I think Crawford still has enough power to hurt.
Reflecting on his own bout with Crawford, Khan elaborated that the American's strength was not just in his skill, but in his deceptive power, something opponents often underestimate. He acknowledged Canelo's advantages in power and weight, but maintained that Crawford's sharp reflexes, control of pace, and timing could allow him to stay competitive and potentially outmaneuver his larger foe.
But like I said, if it doesn't happen, obviously I'm going to support my boy, Terence Crawford. He's a good friend of mine. Obviously we fought each other, but sometimes you put that to a side, and he shared the training camp with me last time. He spent some good time with me. I was at his house, and always shows love. So look, he's one of the best fighters in the world. For him to go up 2 divisions is something I did back in the day when I was at the peak of my career, after beating like Devin Alexander and all the big names. So look, I wish him all the very best, and I think he can do it. You know what I mean? One thing about Terence Crawford, he has great box IQ. His IQ is so perfect, where he'll see everything. So yeah.
Rolly Romero offered the most dramatic take of the group. He predicted a knockout loss for Crawford, drawing comparisons to Canelo's brutal finish of Amir Khan years ago. Romero emphasized that size played a huge role in Canelo's lone recent defeat against Dimitri Bivol, and saw history potentially repeating itself, but this time with Canelo on the winning end.
So, all the people who think Crawford would even have a single chance against Canelo, they're fucking stupid.
Rolly, you have a way with words like nobody else.
No, bro. I hate it when people say that. They're fucking stupid.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, Shakur Stevenson remained firm in his belief in Crawford's capabilities. While admitting that Canelo is a dangerous and accomplished opponent, Stevenson maintained that Crawford's mental strength and in-ring adaptability give him a real shot at shocking the world. For him, Crawford's confidence, combined with his unique skill set, makes him one of the few fighters who can realistically attempt this kind of leap and make it work.
Canelo Crawford as well. I know you're going to back Terence all the way in that fight, but how big of a fight is that? How difficult of a challenge is it moving up in weight?
I think it's very difficult. Canelo got the IQ, he got the size, he got the power, maybe. It's a very difficult fight, but I think if anybody could get it done, it's Terence Crawford.
Roy Jones Jr., one of boxing's all-time greats, didn't hesitate in laying down his opinion. He considered this matchup one that Canelo should win, asserting that all expectations lie on the Mexican champion to maintain his dominance. In Jones's view, the pressure is squarely on Canelo to perform, not on Crawford to pull off the upset.
Buddy Canelo? Buddy Canelo, who you got?
It's a tough fight. It's like I said, it's Canelo's fight to lose. If he fight the wrong fight, he gonna lose.
Longtime boxing commentator Jim Lampley offered a more reserved outlook. He praised Crawford's skill level, but questioned how effective those skills would be against a physically dominant super middleweight. Lampley expressed concern that the very traits that have made Crawford great, his speed, timing, and accuracy, could be dulled when forced to carry more weight and absorb punches from a heavier, stronger opponent. He viewed the bout not as a mismatch, but as a test of whether brilliance can overcome brute force in a higher division.
What do you think about the fight now that you just witnessed Canelo Alvarez again in the masterclass performance?
I love Terence Crawford and I want him to have what he wants. But off of what I saw tonight and what I saw in Los Angeles last month when Crawford was fighting Madrimov, I am more than ever concerned that he's not big enough, and not big enough to be able to move around the ring and muscle Canelo in the way that he would have to ward off those really vicious inside power shots.
The stakes are immense, not just for the fighters, but for the sport itself. This event may very well redefine how major boxing matches are organized and presented. Dana White is banking on fans being ready for this shift, a bold blend of spectacle and substance, with two of the best fighters of this era at center stage. As he puts it, this isn't just a super fight, it's a new chapter in combat sports history.